Hello everyone, hope all is well and welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing another decluttering video. Today I'm going to be focusing on my complexion drawers. So I'm going to be hitting my primers, foundations, concealers, facial sprays, as well as my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. I won't be doing multiple parts this time. I did take a peek at my eyeshadow drawers as well as my lip drawers, and I still really love everything that's in there, all the formulations, all the palettes, and those three drawers are still very organized. Whereas my complexion drawers, as you'll see in a moment, they're very cluttered and a lot of products are like overlapping. They're just piled on top of each other, so that's an indicator for me to refine them. I personally really love having a condensed collection, just having every single thing in my collection be something that I really love and enjoy. So I just want to refine, go through everything, give you mini reviews on everything. Plus with my self-quarantine, I've been cleaning every single thing in my room, just tackling all the things that I've been putting off for a long time and taking advantage of this extra time I have at home to tackle all those areas. So what I'm going to do with the products that I'm going to be decluttering, if they're still in good condition and just slightly used, I'm going to be putting them in my friends and family box. If they smell different or look different or are separated or smell weird, I'm going to be recycling them. If they are unused, which I don't think I have any unused makeup in my collection, I will donate, but if they're slightly used, none of the shelters around me accept any type of used makeup. But with my friends and family box, every single product goes every single time. And if they don't, I tell my mom to bring the box to her girlfriend's house, and then every single product goes to another home. So I never waste anything, and it just makes me really happy for me to be able to share my products with other people. So before we tackle my products, I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It would mean so much to me, and let's get to it. So I'm first going to show you an overview of the drawers we're going to be tackling. This one's the first one. I'm going to be tackling this container right here only today. This is where I keep all my complexion stuff, so my primers, foundations, concealers, and facial sprays back there. In these containers here I have my brow products, my sponges, and in this one I keep a bunch of little things like tweezers, eye primers, eyelash curlers, pens, metallic palettes, all those types of things that I need to grab often when I'm doing looks. And then back here I just have a bunch of things I keep handy for me when I'm doing looks, so I don't have to get up and go find them. So like brush cleaner, eye makeup remover, hand lotion, mirrors, dental floss, all those types of things. And then over here I have headbands, clips, dry shampoo, my planner, just a bunch of stuff I need to grab all the time. Oh, hi Charlie. Charlie, I'm not going to be decluttering you. Charlie, you're going to watch out. Watch out, puppy. Watch out, puppy. Watch out. Watch out. Move, please. Move, please. Okay, what? Okay. Oh, okay, thank you. And then this is the second drawer I'm going to be tackling today. So this one has my blushes, bronzers, highlighters, more highlighters, highlighting palettes and face palettes and face powders. There's a lot of products that are like laying on top of each other, so that's a good indicator that it's time to go through it. Oh, I forgot one last thing. I have this acrylic thing I got from HomeSense. I put the products I miss and I want to get use of, like this palette and a few other things in here, or newer products that I want to try, or things I want to empty. So that all stays right here. Okay, so here is the first container we're going to be tackling. So I think I'm going to first start off with concealers. I feel like that's a good place to start. Okay, so I think I'm going to first start off with a few of my obvious keeps. The Milk Flex Concealer, the Glossier Stretch, and the Lila B Concealer. Keeping all of those, as well as my Charlotte Tilbury Corrector. I really enjoy her concealer as well. I am running through it like crazy, and I haven't had it for that long. It's such a beautiful formula, but it goes so fast. But I am going to be keeping it because I do like the formula. I'm going to be keeping the Nude Sticks Concealer. It's a nice quick stick. It's fun to have in your purse or whatever for longer days for touch-ups. This is the RMS concealer. I'm going to be getting rid of it. I really don't like this concealer, like at all. I've given it a fair shot. I've tried it like 5 times and it always looks awful on me. So this one is going bye-bye. I'm going to be keeping the Flower Beauty Light Illusion concealer. This is actually a really nice high coverage concealer from the drugstore. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD in a shade that doesn't match me. I used to use this as my eye primer a lot, but I'm going to be getting rid of it since I don't really use it for that anymore and it's not my correct shade. I'm going to be getting rid of my Dior Forever Skin Correct. I don't really like this formula. It didn't work out for me. I gave it a fair shot as well, and sadly it was just too cakey and thick looking under my eyes and on my face as well. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, a classic, and I still really love it. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter, I think. I've only tried this once, and I have been using it as an eye primer, but I'd like to give it a few more chances, so I'm going to keep it around. Another one of my favorite, the Kaja Beauty Don't Settle. I'm going to be keeping this one as well. This is the Nabla Close-Up Concealer. I like this one a lot. It kind of reminds me of the Charte. Did I just say Charte? I meant Tarte. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that just happened. It reminds me of the Tarte Shape Tape. I mixed Tarte and Shape together. Charte Tape. Oh my goodness. But it reminds me of that, but more of a hydrating version. This is the Pretty Fresh Concealer from ColourPop. I really enjoy this formula, as you can tell, since there are a lot of them around. I'm going to be keeping these as well. I have some for my summer, winter, and in between shades. I really enjoy this. I also have my winter shade as well as my summer shade in the Ilia True Skin Serum Concealer. This is one of my favorites as well. I'm going to be keeping. This is a newer one to me, the Cover FX one. I'm still testing this out. I've only used it once so far, but I really enjoyed it when I did try it out, so I'm going to keep it around. And finally, I have this ColourPop No Filter concealer. I'm going to be getting rid of it. This one never matched me and it's now super separated and old, so I'm going to be getting rid of that. Now I'm going to tackle my primers. Okay, so first, for the First Aid Beauty primer, I love this stuff. It gives a nice glow and it's a nice hydrating one as well, so I'm going to be keeping this around. The Milk Hydro Grip is such a great one if you want a very long-lasting makeup. I love this stuff for the summer especially. It really holds on to my makeup, especially for those more sweaty and oily days. This is a great one, so I'm going to keep that. I'm going to be keeping the MAC Strobe Cream. It's a classic and it's such a beautiful glow-giving product. For the Ren Perfect Canvas, I've tried this a few times. It always makes my foundations pill up, so I'm going to be getting rid of this. This one's a newer one to me, the Ole Henriksen, the Banana Bright Face Primer. I'm going to be keeping this around. For the Tatcha Silk Canvas, I've tried this once and I really disliked it, but you guys told me I used way too much, so I need to give this one another chance before I make my final decision, so I'll keep it around for now. This is the Guerlain, what is this? Youth Watery Oil. This product didn't really work out for me and I've only used it a couple times. I think my mom would really enjoy this, so I'm going to gift that to her. This is the Lila Be a Glow Priming Oil. This is a very pricey product. I think it's like $90 Canadian. It's crazy. If you want a similar product, the Glossier Future Dew is like the exact same thing. I will be keeping this around though because I've only used it a handful of times, but it is a very gorgeous product. I just wouldn't say it's worth the $90. I would rather spend that kind of money towards like a Pat McGrath palette or something. This is insane, but I'm going to be keeping it. This is one of my favorites, the Milani Soft Focus Glow Complexion Enhancer, an obvious keep. Oh my goodness, such a beautiful product. This is the Guerlain L'Or. I think this is a face primer. I've never tried this. It got lost in my primers. So I'm going to take this out and put it on my desk as well. I've never tried it. It's a very beautiful looking bottle. Very luxurious looking. I don't know how it works, but I'm going to try it out. This is the Catrice Prime and Fine Pore Refining Anti-Shine Base. I'm going to be getting rid of this. I never ever use this anymore. I keep my sunscreen with my primers just so I know I wear it every day. So I'm obviously keeping this. These are the Bite Beauty primers. I prefer the hydrating one more than the oily skin one, so I'm going to be getting rid of the oily one and keeping the hydrating one. This is the Guerlain L'Essentiel. Honestly, this one isn't my favorite. I still want to try it out more. I've only had one day that it was very successful on me, and I haven't really used it since, but I think I'm going to keep it anyways. And then the last one I have is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I've only used this once in a recent video, so I think I'm going to keep this one as well, even though I do prefer the Milani one over this one. So I got rid of 4. I think That's a little bit better. There's a tiny bit of breathing room. And now for my facial sprays. I don't think I'm going to get rid of much. I'm just going to take them out of the container. This one is the Guerlain Gold. It has the most beautiful mister. Like, look. It's so fine and nice, but it is like spraying actual pure perfume on your face. It's way too scented for me, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. I'm going to be keeping the Pixi Glow Mist. I really like this stuff so far. I have a Fix Plus that I will be keeping, an all-nighter and a mini all-nighter. I like to use this for traveling. I'm going to be keeping both. I also have my Anastasia hydrating oil in here. I don't really use this on the face. I kind of use this to dissolve swatches I have on my hand. I don't know why, but that's what I use it for. I have the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. I will be getting rid of this because if I'm using a spray, I want my skin to look dewier, so I'm going to be getting rid of this one. But I do have the dewy one as well, which I will be keeping. I have the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. I love that one as well. My favorite spray of all is the Lila Bee Aglow. I'm running really low on this one, but I will be keeping this. This is the Anastasia Dewy Set. This works so well. It's just very heavily fragranced, but I'm going to keep it because it does make you look super dewy. And the last one here is the Catrice Prime and Fine, the Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I am going to be getting rid of this one just because there's like a weird pigment that you have to always mix up, and that's what makes you dewy. So I will be getting rid of this. I don't like it. And now let's hit the foundations. The Pat McGrath foundation, one of my all-time favorite foundations, is an obvious keep. I love this one so much, and the bottle is just out of this world beautiful. Another obvious keep for me, my Guerlain L'Essentiel. I love this foundation so much, as you guys know, so I will be keeping these as well. I have 2 shades in these, 3N and 2W, depending. These are my 2 shades I kind of turn. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. This is like a full coverage matte foundation. I am going to be getting rid of this one. It's been in my collection for so long, and I never ever use it or go to it. I just don't like those types of foundations, so I think someone would benefit from this a lot better than I would. I have a few shades in the Changemaker by Bite. I am going to be keeping these as well. A really nice foundation. I really enjoy this one. I have 2 shades in the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. I am going to be getting rid of one. I never match this light shade. I almost always use the medium shade, so I will be just keeping the medium. The Nude Sticks Tinted Cover, another one of my favorites. I have 2 shades here, 3.5 and 2.5. 2.5 is my winter shade and 3.5 is my summer, so I'm going to be keeping these as well. This is the Guerlain Gold Foundation. This is such an expensive foundation and it's totally not worth it, but it's in my collection and I do really enjoy the finish and coverage of it and the way it performs on me, so I am going to be using this one up, so I'm going to keep it. This is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. Such a gorgeous foundation. I'm going to be keeping it. I have 2 shades in the Glossier Skin Tint. I'm going to be keeping both of them. I do really adore this product. For a very dewy look and to cover up my slight redness, this one's great. This is the Makeup Forever Reboot Foundation. Honestly, I am torn about this one. I think I'm going to be keeping it. I haven't given it the fairest shot yet. It has looked good one day, but the other 2 I didn't super love it. I want to keep it around just to keep testing it. I'll give it another shot. This is the CoverGirl Skin Milk. This one looked amazing in my initial review, my first impression of it. Loved the way it looked that day, and then I've tried it a few other times and it's really weird. I don't know, it just breaks up in the most weird way. It reacts with a lot of primers, so I don't really know about it yet. I'm gonna keep it around still because I did really love it upon my first application, but it's really inconsistent and weird. That's all I can say about it. but I will be keeping it. This is the Milk Blur Liquid Foundation. I've had this for a long time, and I prefer the Sunshine Skin Tint or the stick foundation way over this one now, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. Speaking of the stick foundation by Milk, I absolutely love this one for a more high coverage look. I don't know, this is one of my favorite foundations as well. It's such a good, reliable one, so I'm going to be keeping both of these shades. I have the shade Light Beige and Shell. This is the ColourPop No Filter foundation. I'm going to be getting rid of it. I never ever use it anymore. I've had this in my collection for like 2+ years, so I'm gonna have to open it up after this video, see if it's still good. This is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation, one of my favorite lighter coverage foundations. It is so beautiful. It's an obvious keep. I need to pick up another shade in this because this is my summer shade. I need to have a winter shade because I miss this thing so much. This is the Dior Face and Body. I really enjoy this one as well, so I'm going to be keeping it. This is the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo. I'm going to be getting rid of this. I hardly ever reach for this anymore, and I honestly forgot I had this, so it's a good indication for it to go bye-bye. I have these little testers of the L'Essentiel and deeper shades. I like to bring these on my more tropical trips, but I will be keeping these around. I keep my favorite foundations right here just so that they're easy to grab. Here is a final look at this container here. I think we did a pretty good job. Everything is in its spot. I can see everything, nothing's overlapping. I feel like there's a little bit more room. Not as much as I thought there was gonna be, but you know, it's better than it was. So now I'm going to move on to this box right here. This one holds all of my face palettes, face powders, and extra highlighters that don't fit in my other container anymore. I don't think there's going to be too much damage here. There's not much in here to begin with. I'll first start off with the palettes. I think I'm going to keep the Moonchild because I like to use this when I do colorful looks for like inner corner highlights or transformative shades, so I'm going to keep that around. Same with the contour kit, it's just a classic. I'm going to be getting rid of the ColourPop Innuendo palette. I rarely ever use this anymore, so it's just a sign for me to get rid of it. For the Ofra Glow Up palette, this has like a variety of their highlighters in here. I'm also going to be getting rid of this. The only shade I would ever use out of here is Rodeo Drive. It's a very intense highlighter. It is very beautiful, but I rarely use this palette. I feel like someone else would get a lot more use out of it than I would. This is the beautiful Glowing in Grease palette from BH Cosmetics. I love this one very much, so I'm going to be keeping this. This is one of my Anastasia glow kits that I kind of customized. I just put in my favorite shades from a bunch of them. I'm going to be getting rid of this. I never ever use this anymore, and it's very old, and it looks like the oils from the powders are starting to destroy the palette a little bit here. So I'm just going to keep 3, and I got rid of 3. That's a good ratio. I'll just do powders over here. I'll keep the Dermablend one. I've been enjoying it. Love the Milk. No hesitations there. I like the By Terry Hyaluronic one as well. I do like the Glossier Wowder. I'm going to pass the Bite Beauty ones just because I never use pressed face powders like this. And then here I have the Nabla powder, which I kind of forgot how I feel about it, so I'm going to just keep it for now. And then in here I'm going to be keeping everything. I have the 2 new MAC highlighters here. One of my favorites ever, the Dior Face and Body Glow, and the Dior face palette. And the last thing I have in here is the Natasha Denona Love Glow palette, which isn't my favorite, but I'm going to keep it around. I bought this around a month ago. So I'm hoping with the next container I'll be able to get rid of enough highlighters so that I'll group all of these with those as well. Okay, so here's the box I've been dreading. I don't even know where to start. I think I might go in with my highlighter corner first. First, starting off with the Nudestix Magnetic Nude Glimmers. These aren't my favorite highlighting formulas from Nudestix, I gotta be honest. My favorite is the Hey Honeys as of right now. I know they just released a new one, I don't have it yet, but I think I'm just gonna keep the more golden shade, the shade 24 Karat Goddess. Next I have the Milk Mars Glow Stick. I think I'm going to get rid of it, plus it's a very chunky packaging for something that I don't use often, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. This is the Flower Beauty Liquid Illuminizer. I am going to be getting rid of it. I don't like how the pigments separate. I think it's kind of a pain. This is the Glossier Halo Scope in the shade Quartz. I really like this one for an everyday highlighter, so I'm going to be keeping this one around. This one's one of my favorites, the Milani Strobe Light in the shade 02 Day Glow. Such a good one. I'm going to be keeping that one. I'm also going to be keeping my Marc Jacobs babies. I have the Spotlight Glow Sticks and the Do You Dewdrops. Love these two so much. I'm not getting rid of them. This is the ColourPop liquid highlighter in the shade Champagne Bubbles. I do really like this formula, so I'm going to be keeping it around. This is one of my recent favorites, the RMS Magic Luminizer. I really like this formula. I like how I can blend it out with anything I want, my finger, a brush, or a sponge. It's a really nice highlighter. I'm a big fan. This is the Kaja Beauty Mochi Glow. This is very well loved. I haven't used this in a hot minute. I'm going to keep it around. It's like a nice subtle highlighter. It's not too blinding. I have another favorite here, the Guerlain Terracotta Gold highlighting stick. Oh my gosh, this one is so beautiful. So nice and warm for the summer. It's a gorgeous formula. Here's one of my favorite powder highlighters. This is the Nabla Amnesia Skin Glazing. Going to be keeping this. I love this one very much. Another staple in my collection, the ABH Perla Liquid Glow. An obvious keep as well. Here I have two of the Nudestix Nudies. I'm going to be keeping Hey Honey without a doubt. And this is the shade Half Moon. This one was in the Hilary Duff collection. It has like a violet-y shift to it, a violet-y blue, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to be keeping that one around. I like it because it doesn't have any glitter in it or whatever. It's just like a really cool sheen. This is a classic, the Becca Opal. This is my first highlighter I ever bought, and it's the same exact one. I am going to be getting rid of it though. I tried it in a video a while ago and it did not perform the way it used to, so I'm going to get rid of it for that reason. This is the Milani highlighting formula. I don't like this one as well. It's a little bit chalky for me. I prefer the liquid version far more than this, so I'm also going to be getting rid of this. This is a funny one because in my original review I don't like it on the face, but I do like to use it on the eyes, so I might move this to my single eyeshadows. It's like a really nice sheer eye topper, and it has like a really interesting shift. It's very gold, like a yellow gold, and then it turns really pink. So I'm going to be keeping it. Plus I love the imprint in here. It's so perfect. I've never seen something so perfect pressed in a highlighter. It's incredible. So that's why I've been digging a little hole right here. I'm trying to preserve this as much as I can. This is the Melt Morning Star highlighter. For a very intense highlighter, I do like using this one. I used it a lot in the summer, so I'm going to be keeping that one just in case if I'm in the mood to really, really glow. And this one right here is the shade Pink Moon. I prefer this one a lot more over this one for a pink one, so I'm going to be getting rid of this. I'm now going to tackle the bronzers. So I'm first going to start off with my Guerlain ones. I have this palette here, which I don't like the highlighter or blush in here. And I also have the single of this one, which is kind of like an in-between of these two shades. So I think I'm going to keep this one and get rid of this palette here. Although it is so beautiful, I think someone else would get a lot more use out of it since I mostly gravitate towards this one. This is the Benefit Hoola, the ginormous version that I got last year sometime. I'm going to be keeping it. Hoola is just a classic. I also have a mini travel version as well, which is nice and handy. This is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I used this as a bronzer in one of my videos and I did really enjoy it in there, but I don't see myself ever using it for that purpose again, so I'm going to get rid of this. I have two of the Vesca Beauty bronzers here. I think this one's going to be forever too deep for me, to be honest, and this one is like my perfect shade and it's very buildable, so I'm going to just keep the one and get rid of this one. I have a classic here, the Milk bronzer. I'm going to be keeping this one. I can't part with it. This is the Milani bronzer. I actually don't really love this formula. I do have a few other drugstore formulas that I much prefer over this one, so I'm going to be getting rid of this guy. Here is an example of one of my favorite bronzers. This one's a new discovery for me. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon in the shade Sunset Striptease. Love this one. It has a slight shimmer to it. It's kind of a dupe for the Lila B bronzer. So good. Love these both. The Lila B one is just, I think, my all-time favorite bronzer I've ever tried. It's such a beautiful formula. It is so beautiful. This side has a slight shimmer to it. It's a beautiful pearl that really mimics the natural shine of your skin. I love this bronzer so much. It's my most precious powder bronzer formula, that's for sure. Love it to bits. Here is another drugstore bronzer. This one is the Maybelline City Bronzer. Love this one. This is probably one of my favorites from the drugstore for a matte formula. It is so good. Love it, love it, love it. Highly recommend. And my last one here is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one's quite new to me. I've only used it once, and I think the shade will match me better in the summer. The formulation was stunning, and I love the smell personally, so I'm going to be keeping it. I just wish it didn't have such a chunky packaging because it takes up so much room. This is my favorite cream bronzer, the Huda Beauty Tantour. I use the shade Fair. This one is just so good. A definite keep. This is the Nudestix Bondi Bay. I might actually put this in my blushes because I like to mix it in with some of the other blush formulas to make it more of like a muted, more bronzy tone. If you're curious to know what my top favorites for creams are, these three right here. This one is my number 1 favorite, my number 2, my number 3. This is one of my all-time favorite powder bronzers as well. This is the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker in the shade In the Sun. As you can tell, I'm almost hitting pan on there. I can't believe I haven't hit it because I've been using this thing like crazy. I love this one because it's the perfect combination of a contour and a bronzer for me, especially in the winter time. It suits me perfectly, so I'm going to be keeping this one. Love it. And then I'm obviously going to be keeping the beautiful Natasha Denona Tan Palette. Oh, this is probably one of my favorite things to look at. I love this thing so much. There's no words to describe how much I love this product. This one is out of its league. I love it. Well, that fits a lot better, doesn't it? Final section of today's video, my blushes. So let's get into it. Your girl loves blush. So first, starting off on a positive note, probably one of my favorite powder blush formulas ever, the Cover FX Monochromatic palettes. I have the shade Warm Honey as well as Soft Peach. These are the only two I have. I also ordered one of the bronzer shades in these, so it's in the mail to me now. Also, I never mentioned this, but I do have a Cover FX code for the US site. On the US site, they also ship to Canada, so that'll be linked down below if you want. I think it saves you 20% off your order. Just in case if you're curious, I don't think I've ever mentioned it. But anyways, these are some of my all-time favorite products, and they're just so beautiful. Ugh. Gotta keep those. This is one of my favorite recent discoveries, the Kjaer Weis Desire Glow Blush. Oh my gosh, this is just the best for an everyday blush. Can't get enough of it. It's so beautiful and the finish is just amazing. For the M Cosmetics Serum Blushes, you probably guessed it, I'm not going to be getting rid of them at all. Love these things to bits. Same goes for the Flower Beauty Blush Bombs. These are amazing. Such a beautiful formulation. Love them to bits as well. Not getting rid of them. I have a blush problem, so I'm going to be probably keeping a majority of my blushes, just going to be honest. Keeping my Glossier ones as well. The Glossier Cloud Paints is what kicked off my love for blush, so I'm obviously going to be keeping them. They're just some of the best. This is the Urban Decay Game of Thrones Cheek Stain. I don't think you can get this anymore, and I rarely ever use this. I feel like someone else who is a Game of Thrones fan will really appreciate this. I did love it at the time, I used it like crazy, but I think I'm going to pass it on. These are the MAC Glow Play blushes. These are the shades I had previously, and last night I got my order, and I got the shade So Natural, which I'm so excited to try out. This one's just sitting out in my acrylic container on my desk right now, so I can try it out. But oh my gosh, these are clouds in a compact. These are incredible. Highly recommend. Beautiful, beautiful products. This is the Kaja Beauty cheek stamp. So basically you have this stamp and then you dip into a cushion blush. I'm going to be getting rid of this because I haven't used this in a very long time and it's taking up a lot of room in my drawer. I love the concept of these, but I just rarely ever use them. I'm not sure why. For the ColourPop blush sticks, I'm going to be getting rid of this. I've tried this so many times on my channel, you guys know. It's very split People either love them or hate them. I really don't like this formulation. There's so many other stick blushes that work amazingly, and this one you have to kind of make it work for you, and I don't think that should be a thing. This product always makes me nervous when I use it, so it's a good indicator for me to get rid of it. I have the M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blushes, some of my favorite powder blushes as well. This one's Faded Clementine and this one is Magic Hour. Love them both. Gonna be keeping them. For my Nudestix nudies, I've got a pretty good collection of them so far. I have some of the Nudies Blooms in here as well as the Nudies Mattes. I'm gonna be keeping them all. I love all these shades very much. They're very near and dear to my heart. I think these are my favorite blush stick formulas on the market. They're amazing, especially the matte ones. The matte ones are my favorite. I have two very unique Dior blushes right here. This is the shade 01 Pink, and this one here is Coral. I used this in my last video if you want to see me use it on camera. Such a beautiful blush. They look very intimidating in the pan. They look very unwearable, but once they're on your cheeks, they kind of self-adjust and they look amazing. Love them. This is a Melt Cosmetics highlighter that I actually use as a blush. This is in the shade Genesis. I love this one very, very much. It has a very intense gold reflect to it, but a very intense peach base, so it's perfect for the summer when I want a dramatic blush look. This is the Milk Makeup Perk blush. I rarely ever use this. I'm not sure why. I think it just always makes me look a little too oily, and that's the finish of it right there. It's a little too shiny for my taste, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. This is the ColourPop shade in Too Cool for School. I think I'm going to be getting rid of it. I haven't used it in a while. Yeah, I don't really see myself using that anymore, so I'm going to be getting rid of it. This is the Flesh Beauty Glaze blush. I used to be a very big fan of this shade. I think I'm gonna let go of it. I don't really reach for it anymore, and it's a little bit too much of a red orange for me. I prefer more of a yellow orange blush for my skin tone. Here are ColourPop pressed blushes. I have a peachy one as well as Perk Up, which is one of my favorite blushes. It looks like a bronzer in the pan, but once it's on the cheeks, it's like a burnt peach shade. I'm gonna be keeping both of these. These are very cute and I love them very much. I have two MAC powder blushes, the shade Modern Mandarin as well as Peaches. I'm going to be keeping both. For the Lila B blushes, I'm going to be getting rid of this shade right here, Be Memorable. I've never used it and it's been out all the time, but I just don't really wear blush shades like that. So I'm going to be getting rid of that one. But I have another one here that's one of my favorites. It's the shade Be Lovely. It's like the perfect sunburn without the damage look. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Gonna be keeping it. And then last blush right here is the Lancome Monochromatic French Affair blush, which is like a very intense coral. I really like this formula. It's like a pressed cream. It's kind of similar to the MAC Glow Play blushes without the shimmer. It does that thing, you see? Kind of similar. I just realized that. Interesting. I love it. I'm gonna actually put this guy in here because it's mostly blushes and highlighter, so it's nice to have this kind of closer. Yay, so here is a final look at this container here. I'm so happy with this, and look, I got a lot of room to grow with my blushes now. This is so much better. I like how I can see everything. Everything has its place. Everything's clean and organized. Amazing. And here is an overview of everything I am getting rid of. And there we go, another declutter down. I really hope you enjoyed today's declutter and found it satisfying and relaxing. If you did, please give this video a huge thumbs up. It would help me out so much. I was just about to say I'm going to link everything in the description down below, but I probably won't. That will be the longest description box ever. So I will just catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.